now we have, um, now we have, now I'm going to review White House Down, which is a lot like, but in some ways there's once again the villains have different motives this time. There's a little bit more in-depthness to some of the characters. Once again, it's very, very good, but you don't want to, if for no other reason, you don't entirely want to compare this one to Olympus Has Fallen, because frankly, it's not quite as good. Anton Fuqua, with Olympus Has Fallen, he tried to make it as realistic as possible, but I think because White House Down was directed by Roland Emmerich, and for those who are not sure who he is, well, he's fairly well known for Disaster, for one. Independence Day, he directed that one, and with this one, once again, he cashed in on the destruction, to say the least, and well, not quite as much destruction as Olympus Has Fallen, but there you go. There's a similar form of the takeover, just like in Olympus Has Fallen, but it's a little bit more subtle, if you can believe that. Some of the characters are very, very similar. There's a disgruntled employee somewhere along the line who wants to take revenge in one form or another, or for one reason or another, should I say. Like I said, for both films, they're both very good on their own merits, but comparing them to each other is, in some ways, very, very difficult because they're very similar in their own way, except White House Down doesn't quite have as much of the F word as Olympus Has Fallen does. But then again, one's PG-13, one's rated R. So, this time we have Jamie Foxx playing the president, and Channing Tatum takes the place of Gerard Butler as the person trying to save both the president and the White House. That having been said, like I said, both movies are very, very good. They've got a very, very good cast, to say the least. And it's got Maggie Gyllenhaal as a certain, I forget what her role in the movie was, but she had some kind of connection to the president, as well as one of the supervisors within the White House having to do with employment. On that note, it also has excuse me, it also has a role by James Woods, and all I can tell you is that once again he gives it everything he's got, but he has an agenda in this film that you just may not expect. I'm trying not to give too much away as far as his character goes, but maybe I just did. I don't know. Anyway, once again, the White House is taken over by a bunch of terrorists, as well as a disgruntled employee. But for that, you have to figure that out yourself, because I'm not going any further than that with that. All I can tell you is that the setup for the takeover, once again, is pretty convincing. And once again, this time at least, Roland Emmerich, yes, he goes overboard with the destruction and the explosions and all that stuff, debris, whatever you want to call it. But at least this time, as far as the White House, he tries to make it look as realistic as possible. And for that alone, I commend him. Once again, the cast is pretty well chosen. I don't understand, and I don't think it gets to Independence Day soon, if not right after this one, as well as Air Force One, if for no other reason than to say why I felt that Air Force One set the stage for White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. On that note, Air Force One, Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down, they all have very similar characters. And all three of them do a pretty good job with their roles. And of course, there's the just when you thought it was over. Once again, the terrorists and the bad guys, they always somehow manage to have a backup plan. Which is one thing that I've always had a hard time with movies like this. Other than that, it's very, very well done. Roland Emmerich, who I will continue to watch his movies, regardless of whether or not I like them all or not, because so far he has not disappointed me. And, like I said, all three movies are very, very well done, very well acted, despite the fact that in all three you have to suspend disbelief to a degree. But that doesn't kill the movies. It's not for me. Like I said, if you didn't get a chance to see any of these three in theaters, they're definitely worth the time. But you don't want to exactly compare these to each other. And like I said, Olympus Has Fallen, saying Die Hard at the White House, that to me is ridiculous. Because the Die Hard movies, at least, I have seen all of them except for Live Free or Die Hard, but as far as I can tell, they all had very similar storylines. The terrorists that were going after John McClane, for obvious reasons, they all had similar motives, to say the least. These particular movies, I think there's a lot more depth to all three of them, and therefore I cannot compare them to Die Hard. But that's just me. So, take them on your own merits. Check them out, as well as my videos. And, I welcome comments, dislike or like. But, like I keep saying, please give a reason why you did or didn't agree with me. That's my only request. Check them out, and enjoy them. Thank you.